back. Well, what a week we've had. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Big Brother, what the heck is happening over there? I don't think I would want to be in this house this year, but I am totally enjoying sitting back and watching. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it. From Cape Breton, it's Saturday night. Well, like I said, this week, what the heck? We're only 3 weeks in, so this is our week 3 recap. And we've had some major stuff happening. I mean, let's get into it. So, the first episode is the HOH competition. If you're new to this, that's the head of household competition. And if you're new to Big Brother, where have you been? What have you been doing? Big Brother has been on Canadian television for, 10 years-ish? I think 2013 was the first year. And it's been on American television since 2000. So, at least in North America, if you're not watching any of the other, like the European ones, the Australian ones, any of the celebrity ones, you still might have seen an American Big Brother, which is simply just called Big Brother, or the Canadian version, which is Big Brother Canada. Anyway, that being said, history lesson over. This week's third week in the house, and I don't know if it's getting to people or what the heck is happening, but we've had, in week one house guest self-evicted, and that's fairly rare. You don't see that all too often. You can go through a full season without any self-evictions, and we've had 2 actual evictions. And so that's 3 people out in the 3 weeks, and that's typical. So now we're in week 3. We have a head of household competition. It's fairly straightforward, and in this head of household competition, they were to build a croquet platform and then get their ball through the croquet loop. It looked actually really difficult, and it seemed like the contestants, they were having a hard time with it. But when everything was said and done, Cozy came out as the winner. And for once, I'm totally excited to see Cozy in that position because it's a shift in the house. If you haven't been following, it's pretty much been Zach and Ty running each head of household, even though they were not head of household. And I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, Zach needs to go. He's good at the game. And that's why I think he should have been a target last week. But, going into this week, I see Cozy win, and personally, I'm thinking, finally, a shift in the house, because he's not going to be up there trying to control her HOH. And in fact, he says in the DR, which is, for those not in the know, the diary room where you can say anything and nobody else hears it. So he says that he's not gunning for this HOH. He doesn't need to win. And if you're any bit like me and know anything of this game, you should never feel safe in that house. If you feel safe, that's the time that you should really start to worry. Anyway, so he says he doesn't need to win, and he doesn't try to win. Then he is captured in the DR saying that he's not going to, influence Cozy's HOH. Okay, well, good start to this week, I suppose. So Cozy gets HOH. We've covered that. Then she starts with wanting to make a big move. Last week's HOH, with Rob being evicted, we saw it was a 7-4 vote, which meant the House thought it was going to be a 9-2 vote. So 2 votes were rogue. And so the house went into like complete chaos, wondering who these other 2 people were. They were Vanessa and Hope. So Vanessa and Hope both deny when asked if they were the rogue votes. It gets to the point where Kuzi kind of figures it out. The girls figure it out that it was definitely Vanessa. And they're not sure about Hope. They're pretty convinced it wasn't him. So Kuzi wants to put up Vanessa for that reason and more. I mean, she's good at the game. Vanessa is. Actually, I think Kuzi's pretty good at this game too. And then she puts up Santina, because Santina is good at the game. She's a competitor. So she puts up 2 people that she feels would threaten her game. And that's the way a head of household should nominate. That being said, her plan is to target Santina, but if somebody comes down, then she will replace them with Zach. So she wants to truly target Ty and Zach and break them up. Well, break the 3 of them up. So Santina, Ty, and Zach. So she already has Santina up there, but if somebody comes down, put Zach up. I haven't heard words ring like gold ever before. Because, I've been saying that for 2 weeks now. Zach has to go up. He has to go. So I am sitting in my reclining love seat watching this unfold thinking, oh my God, finally. So she puts Santina and Vanessa up. Vanessa gives her a hug. She knows it's good gameplay. And that's what she says in the DR as well. So that's what at least what she's saying to production, what she's putting out there. Then she's confronted about the rogue vote, and she puts on a show of defense and crying. I personally like Vanessa's gameplay. I like that she's stirring the pot and making drama, because, it makes good TV. Come on. But I'm not necessarily in tune with how she portrays or plays off her defense. If it were me, and I am not in that position, have never been in that position, but I'm just interjecting. If it were me and Ty and Santina had come to me in kind of like a confrontation, as they did her, I think the best course of action is to lie in the truth. And if you stay with me for a second, what I mean is when they confront and say, did you go to Santina with a proposal to keep Rob against the house and try to flip it, I would have said, yeah, I went to Santina. That's what I was trying to do. Her and I were on the same page, so I figured, who best to go to. And she talked to me about it as well. And Santina did vote to keep Rob, so, that's all true. But stopping short of saying, and I voted to keep him as well. I would have, instead of getting seriously defensive and crying, said, yeah, I did that. And when I figured the house wasn't going to go and flip, like we couldn't get the majority, I flipped back and stayed with the house because I didn't want to make that rumble. And I think that would have been more convincing than the defensive crying. That's just my opinion. Anyway, we move forward, and the next thing we know, Vanessa's gone. Like, what the hell? I wish her all the best. Let me start by saying that. I don't know what happened. Production didn't say what happened, whether it was part of the game that was getting to her or an outside influence that maybe something happened with her family. But whatever the case, I wish her well, as I hope all of you do. That being said, now that Vanessa is no longer in the game, she's self-evicted, we now see Kuzi having 1 hour to choose a replacement for Vanessa on the block. So Hope goes to her, put me up, use me, whatever. And so she uses Hope as a replacement. And the plan is between the two of them for him to fight like hell to get the power of veto so that she can have him come down and put Zach up, backdoor Zach. So plans in motion. That's the way where it ends. Hope's kind of like trying to rebuild his, relationship with Ty and Zach. Poor thing to do. Absolutely. We'll see that unfold. So he doesn't tell Zach this, and I honestly thought that's where it was going to lead, but he doesn't. We go to the second episode. That's the power of veto. The players are chosen. So we have Anika with Santina. Then we have Hope choosing Zach, and the head of household, Kuzi, picked, and these are just random picks that they're doing. They don't know who they're picking. It's not like they're choosing them by choice. She picks Ty. So we have Anika, Santina, Hope, Zach, and Ty. The most terrible situation Kuzi could have for her HOH POV. All right. I know that was a lot right off the cuff. But we go to the POV. It's a fairly wet competition, and Hope really wants it. He really wants to prove that he's a competitor. He really, really wants this POV to take himself down off the block. Zach is saying in the DR that he doesn't need to win, so he's not even going to try. He's going to throw it, apparently. Ty is going for it. Santina's pushing and pushing, pushing for it. And Anika's kind of trying, like she's doing her best. So, at the end of the day, there's also $5,000 up for grabs for the winner. We see Hope really, really push. He gets it. He gets the power of veto. The next thing we know, we're back in the house, in the storage room. Hope's kind of wanting to celebrate. But here we have Ty and Zach. So, you're going to do with the veto what we want you to do. And they're not saying this outright. They're kind of alluding to it. Kind of saying some of the words, but they're really trying to be like passive aggressive and somewhat subtle, but he's getting the message. You're going to do what I want you to do, basically, or else. So they're kind of strong-arming him, right? In a verbiage way. So Hope goes and he's trying to make up his mind, and he decides, screw them. This is my game. You're not going to tell me what to do. I see what you're doing. And he decides, even after they go after him again, that, if you use the power of veto, there are going to be consequences for it. He decides, so what? I'm going to use my power of veto. It's my choice. I won. I'm going to do it. He kind of knew. He really kind of knew what was going to happen if he used it. But anyway, he uses it anyway. And he comes down off the block. And Kuzi has a really good speech about you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and her shot's going to land. And she puts Zach up on the block. And I am smiling right now, recapping this for you guys, because that was the best case scenario for Zach, for Santina, and for Kuzi. And, well, for the rest of the house, too. So because she put Zach on the block, now you can see the true character of Zach and Ty. They become angry. They become vengeful. The narcissism in the two of them is outrageous. They are moping, they are planning, they want revenge on Hope. So they decide they know something about Hope, and they're going to use it against him. That's their strong arm. They're going to use it against him. There's confrontation. There's a lot of drama. I am quickly going through this. I am not going to rehash everything because, oh my God, you guys want to see it? Please go to the BigBrotherCanada.com website, and you could probably see some of the footage, if not all the footage on there. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that they post the shows on there. So if you're not watching like I am, you can go get it. But this was an episode that you really wanted to sit back and watch because it was drama after drama after drama. So now that Zach's on the block, they pull this revenge thing. So Zach, Ty, and Dan S. are in the storage room, and they're Zach and Ty are talking about something, and Dan kind of comes in on it, and he's like, what are you talking about? And they're kind of like, something we can't really say, but Zach then tells him what they're talking about. Hope received a letter from home from his girlfriend. That's a no-no in Big Brother. Like, unless you're HOH and you get a letter from home, you are not allowed to have anything from home. Not like that. It can give you an advantage in the game. It's cheating. So, and I say it's cheating because that's what they called it. So production overhears this, and they call Zach into the diary room, and they ask him to explain what's going on. He says first, no, I don't want to tell you. Basically, do you want to tell us what's going on? He's like, no, not really. And at first I'm thinking, okay, well maybe he's like really trying to protect Hope, but that's not the case because he spills it. I mean, they ask him, you really got to tell us what's going on. And he tells them, and then Hope's called in. Hope has to give them the letter, and then you think, oh shit, is this going to be the case where they get him kicked off the show? Like, this could be that serious. And Hope's really upset that they did this, and Kuzi calls him out. Kuzi calls Zach out about it. And Zach's saying, cheating's cheating, and blah, blah, blah. And Kuzi said, well, if you truly felt about the letter, and you've known about it for over a week now, why didn't you go to production when you first found out? And that is nail on the head. Like, seriously, if him and Ty were that upset about this quote-unquote cheating that Hope was doing, why not just go straight to production? No, they held it out as a back pocket that, they could use to blackmail Hope. It didn't work, so they went to production. They truly did. And when production reads the letter, they come back and they have their, they analyze their situation and what they're going to do, and they come back with a punishment for Hope. They don't kick him off the show. They tell him he's lost his vote for the eviction this week, and he cannot play in the upcoming HOH competition. That's serious punishment in Big Brother. They're powerful things. But Zach, and then the rest of the house guests, to equal the playing field, they all got letters from home. So that they all had something. Now, Hope's letter was in a sock stuffed in a sock from clothing he received from home just after they arrived. See, they go in with a small little duffel bag and then they get their stuff from home. He didn't know it was there, but when he found it, he should have told production, oh shit, I found something in my sock, you should have this. I'm not supposed to have it. That would have saved everything. But he didn't. He read it. He kept it. So when Zach and Ty and the rest of them all get their letters, Zach and Ty go off into the storage room. Zach's pissed. He's not even reading he has his letter open, but I don't even think he's reading it. Ty didn't open his, and Zach's saying, that's it. If that's all they're gonna do, this is nothing. This is not a resolution. That's it. I'm leaving. Let's leave. You and I. Let's leave the show. How dramatic, and it's just such a temper tantrum that this grown-ass man is throwing. So Ty agrees, yeah. If they don't actually kick him off or really punish him, we're gonna leave. So it comes down to it that they both end up going to the diary room together further into the show. And now we're into Thursday's show, by the way. They're showing all this drama that happened between the POV ceremony and the letters and all this stuff happening. And both Ty and Zach go into the diary room together to self-evict because they're pissed that this didn't go their way, basically. And Ty has a change of heart. He decides, no, why should Zach ruin my game? It's $100,000 on the line here. That's a lot of chump change for the average person. But Zach held true. Zach self-evicts. And he's gone. He's gone from the game. I'm happy he's gone from the game, but I think it was the most cowardly, selfish, narcissistic bullshit I've ever seen a player do. And it just proved his character. And Zach, if you're ever listening to this, which I highly doubt you ever will, because, why would you pick up a podcast from Cape Breton Island when you're such a Kim Kardashian of Ottawa? But if you ever do, I just want to let you know, you could have won that game. Seriously. You played too hard, you played too fast, but if you would have reined it in a little bit, changed some of your tactics and how you played the game, your strategy, man, you had the skills. You had some serious ability to win that game. Not sorry to see you go, though. So Arissa comes on, and by the way, Thursday's live episode, Arissa, girl, you looked smashing. That outfit was fire. Seriously, it was fire. I loved it. So anyway, she comes back on the screen, and she tells the remaining house guests, which on the block right now is just Santina, that there's no live eviction this week. Zach self-evicted. So there's no live eviction, and we're going to play head of household. And then she tells them what they're playing for. So when you get to this stage of the game, you're pretty much getting close to jury. And if you remember from my first episode when I told you all about the game and stuff, 9 players go to jury. So we've had Alma self-evict. Then we lost JM to a live eviction vote. Then we lost Rob to a live eviction vote. Then we lost Vanessa to self-eviction. Then we lost Zach to self-eviction. That's 5 players in 3 weeks. Big Brother, when they don't lose players, there's usually double evictions, maybe even a triple eviction, depending on the length of the season. I highly doubt Big Brother Canada will have a double eviction this year. If they do, it's going to shock me because they need to stretch this season out till May. That's another month. And that's 5 players gone. There's only 11 players left. If 9 are going to jury, that's only 2 players left before jury. Really? No, they're going to jury this week, actually. If you think about it, because 2 players sit at the end of the game to be chosen winner and second runner-up. So if that's 2 and 9 are in jury, that's 11. So they're going to jury next week. How exciting. And guys, I have amazing news. If you've made it this far, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Make sure you're following the podcast on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you listen to podcasts. But next week, I have some awesome news. A good friend of mine is going to join me. We're going to have a discussion. We're both super fans of the game. And her and I are going to have an actual discussion about what's going on. And with this week coming, being played anonymously, there's a spoiler, but I got that from the show. So I'm still not watching the spoilers or the daily digital whatever they are. But she might watch some and fill me in. So you guys really have to tune in next week and listen to our recap of this week's Big Brother Week 4. It's going to be amazing. So until then, guys, that's it for this week of Big Brother. It was pretty amazing. Fast-paced, all kinds of drama. Get your popcorn, go watch it. And until next week, guys, take care. See you, friends.